Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at another legend run in the Open Ultra League. Here we have some footage from Juaniiillo, who actually I think sent me some footage early on as well last season with I think also a legend run there, but I'm not sure about this. But here we're going to still have some very cool gameplay here, tying the current rank 1 in the world as well. You maybe already saw the video yesterday about the rank 1 in the world team. This might be currently also the rank 1 in the world team. They have at the end of the day the exact same elo as this player is going to hit legend here in today's video, which is fairly early, I would say. I think only around like 10-12 people are currently legend, which is kind of wild. So here we're going to see already 2 shields down, kind of annoying for you to deal with, but we're going to have the Registeel in the back, which is going to definitely have a great time against this Tentacruel, which actually going to shield up some Leaf Blades here, which is kind of wild as well. But your Pokemon in the back, they're going to have a great time there. Let's take a look at the Leaf Blades. Going to actually chunk quite a bit, and you're going to get both shields from the opponent back. This is wild, as we're going to have a team here with the Dragonite in the lead, the NIRiain, as I don't know if it's the Sasab on the back. I would guess it's actually in the back. But the Registeel there as well, which is Registeel plus Dragonite is a very common core in general, so that does make sense. Here we're going to see a team with the Swampert in the lead and the Shadow Charizard coming in here. Shadow Charizard, if you look at the backline, is a core breaker for actually the entire team here. But you should be able to have a pretty okayish time in the 2-shield scenario with your Dragonite. Here I think you kind of wish that you had a Shadow Dragonite, because you might have been even able to farm down at this point of time. But I think you can just farm down all the way here right now. You're still going to go for one charge move. Maybe they would have got to a charge move as well, and they're going to let this move go through, allowing you to realign, which is going to be super important because you don't even care if the Charizard or the Swampert is coming back in here again. You're going to have great coverage for the Swampert later on with the NIRiain as well, and you're going to get them super low here, which is going to be super beneficial for you, as you now only have basically one Pokemon left from the opponent that you have to counter with either of the Pokemon that you have in the back, and it's going to be their own Registeel. And you can go for one charge move here, and you might want to swap out immediately here exactly, forcing the opponent to go for their Focus Blast basically immediately, which is going to be fairly nice. You're going to see how much damage it's going to do, and I'm not sure, the opponent must actually shield this move up here, I think. That's the only way to do that. They don't do that, and like this you can actually get the opponent super low. And there's nothing that the opponent can do here anymore. There's even still going to knock them out. Now you can just farm them down with the double kick, and this is going to be a fast one. Good game there. As you're going to go now into the next game, we're going to have Deoxys defense in the lead. This is going to be an interesting matchup again. Deoxys defense has usually access to the move Rock Slide, but this is a Psycho Boost as far as I can see. And they're going to swap out immediately into the Dragon Breath variant of the Giratina, where you can at least retaliate with some own Dragon Breath as well as the Dragon Claw. Trying to catch a move here, very nice play as well. And you also put now the opponent into range for one Zap Cannon. It's not directly the range for one Zap Cannon, I think, but I think you can farm him down with Lock On afterwards, which might be even better for you. Shadow Sneak coming through, gonna do some pretty decent damage. I don't think this knocks them out. They're actually going to undercharge a little bit as well, but you can get a full farm down here, which is great. Like, you see already the skill of the player here by undercharging this move, that you can get actually more farm here as well, which is just great. And honestly, like, this player just knows what they're doing. The 2 bubbles there really helped you out to get to another charge move here, and we're going to see the Deoxys coming in, which still has to throw against you, but they don't, and they're going to get hit by another Zap Cannon here right now, which gonna put them super low, and you snipe them with a Dragonite. Honestly, so far you played basically everything perfect. It is a wild. Like, honestly, the skill gap is really insane. Like, honestly, the gameplay that I looked at from like the rank 1 players before, or like in general the top tier players, it is wild how strong they are. Here we're going to see now Leandro, actually a good friend of mine, who is using a Mandibuzz, which is interesting, which is going to have a foul play here. Very bulky Pokemon, rarely to be seen recently, to be fair. Kind of went away, I think, because of something like the Walrein. But here we see that you're going to run most likely the Sasab of the Registeel, or you just in general used it here right now just because, I don't know, like, you don't really want to go into a Grass plus Fighting type Pokemon against a Flyer most likely. But the opponent's Toxicroak now going to not be able to farm you all the way down, but they can go ahead and go for another Zapcan, gonna get another debuff. But still, the Sludge Bomb going to hurt you quite a bit, but you can still go for one charge move. That's going to be an interesting matchup here. The opponent going to shield, as they have a ton of energy still stored. We will see the no shield coming through. It's going to not knock you out, and you will see the Ampharos coming in. It's going to be an interesting one at this point of time, but I think you're in a currently pretty tough spot to still come back from. You can still go for the Leaf Blade here, which is going to knock out the opponent most likely from that range, and it does, but you still have a Flyer against you. which is coming back in here again. And you're still going to have some energy on the Toxic Rogue, which is going to be a little bit annoying for you to deal with as well. So let's take a look at this. We're going to see the Aerial Ace, of course, going to get shielded up because it's double super effective. Horrific move in general, but here it's going to be very good for the opponent to have Aerial Ace, as you can now go for another Sacred Sword. But they still have a move stun on the Toxic Rogue, and it might be even a Sludge Bomb, and we're going to see now another Aerial Ace coming through. You are forced to shield this move up, and you're going to try to maybe... Oh, you're going to go straight for the charge move here. It's going to be a close one, but I feel like it's going to be not in your favor. The opponent waited out for you to swap as well. Really great play by Leandro. They are going to allow him to win this game. You were forced to try to swap onto a charge move there for sure, so that was definitely the way to go for you. A little bit unfortunate, but you know what's also unfortunate? Having the Clefable there in the lead is not really ideal for you. Now getting the Swampert in is not really ideal for you either. So now we're going to get at least the attack drop here by going for the Zap Cannon, which is a smart move because you need 2 moves anyway. And like this, 1 Focus Blast should be enough. But you're forced to keep your Registeel around at this point of time. So it's going to be an interesting one for you, because you kind of are forced to shield this move up, and you have to hope that it's going to be an Earthquake, because you have nothing to deal with the opponent here, and you can try to go for another charge move here. The opponent most likely going to shield this up again, and you're going to go for the Zapkin to try to debuff them, but you're going to catch the move here onto the Virizion, which is going to be super important for you as the Earthquake coming up there, and you get out the Clefable. And now you can align your Registeel against the Clefable, which is super important. Like, you basically completely flip now a horrific matchup for you, a literally hard counter, because, yeah, the opponent going to get some damage onto here right now and going to knock you out as well. But at least you're gonna get rid of the Clefable before it can basically destroy both your both Pokemon from your team here with the Dragonite and the Fighting type Pokemon Virizion. So that's going to be amazing for you. You can even just go for 1 Focus Blast here at this point of time, but you most likely should throw something soon here. And you're gonna throw something soon. You're going to undercharge as well, trying to get some more energy. It can be a little bit risky, but actually can turn out pretty well for you as well, as you can go for another Focus Blast against the opponent here right now. And it's going to now go into the Dragonite there. That's why I mean it's a little bit risky, because now the Dragonite still has to deal with the opponent's Fairy type Pokemon. But I feel like you're going to be able to just farm down the Snorlax, great play here, and you can just go ahead and go for a charge move against the Swampert, and if the Clefable comes back in here, you're also going to be fine. What a game here, because you kind of got completely walled there, theoretically. You're still going to be able to come back from that one. It is wild, a very strong game there, and we're going to see the first set here coming to an end of 4-1 for the first one. Very nice there, but it's sadly not enough to hit Legend yet, alright? Let's take a look at this one. It's going to be 2,998 from the rating here, but we have another set to go through, so let's take a look at the next set here coming up. You're going to have here the Dragonite. This is actually the team that I showcased already on my channel as well, which is going to be Dragonite. Oh, did I? I think I did. No, actually, I think they swapped their team. I think I showcased the team from this player. I think they swapped their team around. Because they have now a Deoxys in the back, yeah, they swapped the team around here, which is going to take the superpower like a champ, of course. Deoxys is going to be a very difficult Pokemon for your backline here, but they're most likely going to not run Thunderbolt, I would guess. They run Rock Slide, and this is going to be a better matchup now for your Registeel. Registeel is actually pretty decent against Deoxys, while they have super effective counter against you. The fast move already from Lock On, you see already, they are in the red health here. Going to do a ton of damage, as the opponent going to be able to catch a move on the Snorlax. This is going to be a little bit of a difficult one for you, but you can now go ahead and get extra energy and now swap out into your Virizion, which hopefully can even farm them down or like get a lot of energy here as well. Body Slam gonna get shielded, interesting choice. I wouldn't have done that in my opinion, because the opponent still would have the Psycho Boost there, but you're going to try to just go for a full farm down from against the opponent here, which maybe you wanted to prevent that your Virizion gets into a range where the opponent can go for anything other than the Psycho Boost. That could be the case. You just want to get the opponent super low here. But now you can kind of waste your Virizion here, but no, you can still survive that move. That was really lucky for you, or like predicted. Definitely good knowledge here, I guess. But you can still now go ahead, go for 2 charge moves, and you're going to be able to win this game with that one. But I would have went rather for the shields against the Psycho Boost, right? But I guess maybe for Body Slam you would know that it's going to be a Body Slam, while the opponent could have also baited with a Rock Slide otherwise. So both have like their benefits and yeah, some issues with it as well. But here we're going to see the Skuntank in the lead. Something where you can just use 1 shield and farm them all the way down, as it seems like here, as the opponent is not going to swap out. You're gonna get some extra energy here, and we're gonna get out the Tapu Fini and the opponent's Virizion. Maybe actually Verisian as a Say-Swap would have been better here for, of course, for the back lane, but of course you don't know that they have their own Verisian in the back. You still should be able to maybe get a shield from the opponent here by going for, for Focus Blast, which is going to be fairly decent for you as well. I think you still survived it. I think you still get to another charge move here as well, which is going to be very decent. And now you're going to put the opponent into a range where even your Verisian going to be able to do something against the opponent there. But this Dragon Claw is coming through and going to do some no damage actually, because the opponent going to shield this move up. Do they have Stone Edge? No, they don't have Stone Edge, and you can swap out now into your own Verisian, which will be able to go for their own Sacred Swords here to knock out the opponent. But no, they're going to swap out into the Tapu Fini, which is going to be ideal for you, as now you can two-shot the opponent. They don't even have a chance of getting to the Moonblast here, and this is going to be a good game again. Verisian is just taking all the energy here and just destroying opponents left and right, as you're going to see a Swampert in the lead. That's going to be fairly decent for you, as this is going to be a good matchup. They're going to stay in here and go for the Hydro Cannon. They're most likely going to sack their Swampert here, but getting your own Dragonite fairly low while doing that. So that's going to be an interesting strategy. They must be super weak to Dragonite in the back. Most likely have one answer for it, but that's basically it. And now you can overfarm by a little bit, but you still are forced to go for another charge move. It's wild how close Swampert actually makes this matchup here. But we're gonna get out the Weezing, where you cannot swap out. This is kinda a really tough Pokemon to face for your team here, because it actually has coverage for all your Pokemon. And you're forced to go into your, into your Registeel here. They're gonna go for the Overheat, which is good for you. And you're gonna get out the Skuntank. You have to kinda go for one Zapkin, and now you are forced to swap out, because there is nothing else that you really can do here. You're going to overfarm by a little bit here as well. They're actually going to stay in. Okay, I find this interesting. I would have most likely swapped out, because what does your Verisian do against the other Pokemon from them in the back? But you can still go for a Zapcan here, try to get another debuff, which didn't work out. And are you going to swap out here? No, you're going to stay in the entire time. That's kind of wild. Honestly, at least I don't really see the point for that one here. But maybe I'm going to get proven wrong here, but it doesn't even knock out the opponent. And they're going to swap out into the Weezing, and you go into your own Verisian. Don't really know why. Honestly, I feel like if you swapped out into your Verisian earlier there, you would have been better off. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're still going to be able to win this game here. But that's just my opinion. But no, the opponent even going to knock you out there with an invisible fast move or something. But this Overheat going to knock you out as well. I feel like you had a chance of winning this game if you just swapped out earlier there. But that's going to be okay. We're going to see a Greedent coming in here right now, which is going to definitely not appreciate the superpower, but you can definitely swap out against this Pokemon as well. I would just go for one superpower here right now and then dip most likely, which is not what they're going to do. They're going to go for one Dragon Claw right now. They're going to try to stay in this matchup and I guess try to realign with their backline, which might be the play to go for here right now. But you can now go ahead and go for the superpower against the Giratina. That is so unfortunate. That hurts, but you're going to now be able to go into your Registeel here against this Pokemon. But, that really hurts. That's just so... it's just not really a thing that you like to see, right? Superpower against Giratina when you had a Dragon Claw that you would have been able to throw as well. Always kind of annoying, but you're gonna get the debuff from the Registeel here already, which is really fine for you, as you can now let this Shadow Sneak go through. You can go for your own Zapcan right now as well. And this is going to now do again another debuff, which is going to be really good for you, as you can definitely realign your Pokemon, which will be super good for you, as you can go into your Verisian against the Greedent as well. Let's see what they're going to do here. They're going to go ahead and go for the Shadow Sneak again. You can farm them all the way down, while the Greedent going to try to snipe you, which you can just happily take, and this Greedent is basically just living farm for your Verisian. You could get out of this matchup just with like nearly full energy if you want to, but you have to take some body slams, which basically do no damage, so I feel like just farming them down is the way to go, and that's exactly what they're doing here right now, as they have so much energy right now that even the opponent's Verisian shouldn't be an issue here right now. Let's take a look at this. We're going to be able to see some Sacred Sword spam here, but it's actually going to be an interesting matchup because it's not really that clear for you, but I think you have a shield advantage right now, it looks like it. No, you don't. Actually don't. The opponent has the same amount of shields as well. Interesting that you also like wait for 2 turns there just to see if the opponent going to swap out, which they do now, and they give you the free fast move that you really needed, to be fair, as you can now go ahead and go for the Sacred Sword, and you might even want to try to catch a move here, but look at the timer running out as well. I think you're totally fine just trying to farm them all the way down at this point of time here, or just wait for the timer. That's so cool, because now the opponent has to shield, and they go for their own charge move, but the timer is already up. You see it on the top, and like even they knock you out here, you're still going going to have the Registeel in the back, winning you the game here without even throwing a charge move. And we're going to go for the last game here for today. It's going to be the Deoxys defense in the lead. Let's take a look what they're going to play around here. They're going to stay in, and they're going to most likely shield up the potential rock side here, which coming through as well. And you can go for the Dragon Claw spam. The Deoxys doesn't really appreciate Dragon Breath as much because it has a pretty low HP stat. As you can see here, Dragon Breath chunks quite a bit, while the Dragon Claw seems to be a little bit weaker in comparison, but that's just how Deoxys defense operates. We're going to see now that you can farm them all the way down, but still going to get to another charge move here, which is kind of annoying. Psycho Boost, you're 2 shields down though, but the opponent goes into, I think, a normal type. Was it a normal type? It was a normal type into the Dub. Might be another counter user in the back like the Obstagoon. I feel like Obstagoon might make some sense in the back here for this team. So let's take a look what they're going to have in the back. And if it's Obstagoon, your Registeel also going to be able to have a great time here. Let's see what they're going to go into. They're going to go into, most likely, oh, it's going to be a Sandslash. That's actually maybe even better than an Obstagoon for you, because Sandslash does threaten you a little bit less than the Obstagoon against your Registeel. And like this, you can just get ball shields from the opponent and still hit another charge move against them, which going to one-shot them? No, it doesn't one-shot them, okay. But it's going to put them at 1 HP. And at this point of time, I don't think a Sandslash with 1 HP going to be able to beat your Dragonite as well as your Registeel in the back. And that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for letting me showcase your battles here. We're going to see the final set going to be a Phantom as a reward. What a rewarding reward here. Very rewarding for hitting a Legend, which is going to be so cool. 3038 here. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.